Hello, welcome to Jazz Is
Jazz's
MasterClass series
at the National Jazz Museum.
At the National Jazz Museum in Harlem.
I am Sekou McMillan, the curator of special projects.
My name is Albert Marquès. Zach O'Farrell.
My name is Shirazette Titten.
and we are in conversation with the legendary Bertha Hope. Jazz could only have happened here in America.
The key to everything was the radio.
So this world is too dense. 15 minutes isn't enough to cover it all.
Are you ready? I am.
The goal of the project is to make sure that Kid Lamar, who is incarcerated, can defend himself. In other words, part 2, the creation of Freedom First. In 2020, as you know, there was a global pandemic. We were all at home. All my friends, including myself, got tours canceled. We didn't have any gigs. And soon after, we all watched a video where the police killed George Floyd. I was attending a lot of the BLM Black Lives Matter protests, and also I was playing in my neighborhood, Flatbush, on the street practically every day. We created jazz concerts on the street and also a program where kids from the neighborhood could learn how to play an instrument. While all of this was happening, my neighbor, Brian Jackson, mentioned this name, Kid Lamar, a man who has spent more than 30 years in Ohio's death row in solitary confinement, who claims that he's innocent. We were having a conversation and Brian said, why do we always protest after the government kills an innocent black man? Why don't we do it before? Why don't we prevent it from happening? Also, I learned that Kid Lamar was saying that he had been listening to John Coltrane, and that was one of the reasons why he was surviving. Precisely the album A Love Supreme, that I do love. I got in touch with the people who support him, and we organized a concert at Grand Army Plaza, downtown Brooklyn, with more than 30 musicians who played outdoors, no pay, as Kid says, and we had no permits. And I was trying to take as literally as possible a slogan that was being said during the protests at that time, that was amplify Black voices. The goal of the project is to make sure that Kid Lamar, who is incarcerated, can defend himself. In other words, nobody can explain better than him what has happened and what is happening to him. What music does, what jazz does in this case, is to provide a platform so his voice can be amplified and the audience can listen to him. Kid Lamar is a black man who was in prison in Lucasville, Ohio, during the 1993 riot that lasted 11 days and that ended with the death of 10 people, 9 prisoners and 1 guard. If you learn about Kid's story, and I hope that you will, he published a book called Condemned, that is his autobiography. You will see that he grew up, like many other people like him, in poverty in Cleveland, Ohio, and he ended up in a situation that, like many other poor people in the United States, that could lead to drug trafficking and committing small but crimes. He is in this situation that when he's 19 years old, there is a group that attacks him and his friends, shooting. They respond, and he ends being imprisoned because of that incident. He's already in prison during the 1993 Lucasville riot. It is then that during the first day of the 11 days riot, he was there. This is proven in court. He was in prison in Lucasville during the morning of the first day. The state accused him of organizing the riot and killing 5 people, which I think is just impossible. He did not have a real lawyer who defended himself, and when he was 19-year-old, he ended up being in a situation that would have crushed anybody. It is, I insist, because of jazz, John Coltrane, and music that he finds the force, the energy to fight for truth and for his liberation. Keith Lamar, I like to say, and I wrote that in a book that I wrote in Spanish about the topic. He became an expert in an American society that put him in that situation. He's self-taught, and during those 30 years in solitary confinement, he has been reading and listening to jazz. He says the days are very long when you're in solitary confinement. So he has, in my opinion, he's one of the most interesting intellectuals that I've ever met. Keith Lamar is in a supermax in Youngstown, Ohio. It's incredible that he has been able to participate in what would become the first album in history made by someone on death row, not just a jazz album, any musical album. I visited him. We have a relationship. That's the only way to really understand how this has happened. My kids have met him. We talk to him all the time. And we have now played in 3 continents. We have been invited to play all over the world, and he participates live via phone. He calls during the time that he's allowed to call, and he recites his poetry with, I think, incredible jazz bands that help the audience to connect, empathize with his story. When you start a project like this, especially when something like this has not been done, you are doing trial and error all the time. It was very difficult at the beginning to make it happen. I talked to him on the phone. We rehearsed, and the way it worked when we made the album is that first he would create the spoken word part, and I would compose the music, or it would go the other way around. I would write the music first, show it to him, and then he would write the words. I want to show you a piece called Tell Them the Truth, where you can see him in the recording studio with us. This is the only case where he was able to be with us through what we could call like a Zoom meeting, even if it's not really the system, and it's very expensive, like any kind of communication with imprisoned people in the United States. But I want to show it to you because I think that it really captured the magic of a jazz band playing with somebody who is on death row. This is Tell Them the Truth. All right, I'm rolling. Let's go. Are you ready, kid?
I'm ready. You know, whenever I think about all the struggles and strife I've been through in my life, it's truly hard to comprehend. I mean, I'm sitting inside a cage on death row, yo. So far away from home, so far away from everything I know. Might as well be sitting inside the hold of a slave ship. That's what it feels like to be here. Yet it's hard sometimes to see how what I'm going through is connected to what my ancestors suffered and survived. Truth be told, I'm lucky to be alive, real talk. Sometimes when things get too heavy to carry, I close my eyes and drift back to a time when everything was all good. A time when it was fully understood that being here on this earth was the biggest blessing. My grandfather taught me that.